Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we're following up on our series, going through all the extract mechanics in Yu-Gi-Oh! And showing 5 cards that I really feel strongly will be meta at some point down the line. We already did fusions, we already did synchros, now we're on to XYZs, and then links will follow. Really excited for this one. I honestly felt like fusions were pretty sparse just because of how the mechanic works, and it's older, right? Synchros were better. Man, XYZs take a leap. They really, really do. I honestly don't know how links will look just because they are so new that like there's probably just less overall monsters for the link mechanic, but still we'll get there when we get there. Let's hop into it for today. Keep in mind though, this is my list. There's obviously other cards that are not on this list that definitely probably could make it on, so feel free to let me know in the comment section down below any other XYZ monsters you think fit this criteria, which is basically something that either hasn't been good in a while, has only been good in a specific deck that could come up elsewhere, as well as maybe just a card that literally has never been good, but it's still just one of those cards that you read and you're like, that's going to be broken one day. So let's get into it. Number 1 on the list, I have Lyricalisk Ensemble Robin. Really, really powerful card. The reason I put this on the list, and I get it, right? Like, Lyricalisk is not that old. It's not that far behind us. Just a couple years, or actually maybe even less than 2 years. When it, like, from being in its prime. But listen, this card is only going up in Lyricalisk decks. The reason I need to flex this card to you, like, when I read this card, I was like, why is this card generic? Why is this card not two or more level 1 wing beasts? It's any level 1 monsters. And I just have a hard time believing we're not going to run into more strategies down the line that just, like, pump out level 1s like crazy. 100% one day down the line we're gonna have a crazy level 1 like turbo deck that just like puts out a ton of level 1s. This card will be one of the most broken cards in it because you know, even just 2 monsters going into this, and this is a double compulse, insanely strong, plus it reloads itself back into grave. It's sent to grave, which is really crazy. And yeah, it's pretty basic to me, right? Any 2 level 1s, you got a double compulse. More than that, you got more than that. If the Lyricalisk engine comes up in another tribe list down the line when a new archetype comes out that works kind of with both, and you just kind of play a bunch of like tri-beast good stuff, this card could come up again. We'll see, but I think like this card will absolutely be broken again. I would definitely get copies of this if you don't have it, just for like the future. Next up here we have number 97, Draglubion. I don't know if this card's ever really seen play in like a truly, truly meta deck. I think it probably will at some point. I think there's too many level 8 monsters that are good in the game that will come up eventually. I also believe Konami has been careful around level 8s just because a lot of monsters end up being level 8s. Plus there's like the whole the Galaxy Eyes line where like if you make the one rank 8, you can overlay another one and another one and another one, and almost all of them are just like pop a card, oh pop a card again, oh pop like whatever. They banned dark matter. There's other tools as well. There's actually the new one coming out for level 8s as well. So I think Konami's been careful with level 8s in general, but this card's crazy. If you don't know, it can either get you something like number 100 Numeron Dragon, which this card just literally attacks for like 10,000. Pretty much. So like it can just go for game for free. This will just steal games straight up. I've seen it in plenty of dual replays. This just steals games, and it's a pretty crazy win condition. Kind of feels almost Juggernaut Lieb-esque, right? That it just like, oh yeah, he just kills me now. Or you can summon out something like a Hope Harbinger. And I get it, if you have rank 8 abilities, why wouldn't you just make Hope Harbinger? You do at least get the extra body, which is something weird. Plus, it's a big dark body, so we're seeing stuff like the virus card see play, so maybe something like that. Like you get a free dark body that tributes something, and then an extra negate on top of that. That could come up. I don't know. So definitely a crazy card. The first time I read it, I thought it was insane. If we see more rank 8s come around, and like actually maybe a new archetype that's rank 8 based. We saw the Kshatriya La stuff. That's 7s. Maybe we get an 8 soon. I don't know. I do think this card will end up seeing play, though, in a meta deck at some point. Number 3 on the list, DDD Divisor King Deuce mockingx. This is actually a newer card to the DDD archetype. Very, very cool card. Honestly, I'm not even worried about his other effects, aside from, one, you can exceed summon this card using a DDD monster you control as material. That's any DDD monster, which is very cool that he's super easy to get out. But the main effect we're looking at here is once per chain, when a monster card your opponent controls activates its effects, quick effect, detach 2 materials from this card, or destroy a dark contract you control. We're going to assume we're attaching 2 materials in this scenario, and if you do, attach that opponent's card to this card as material. So essentially what this is a removal for any monster on the field that activates its effects. That is not the most insane powerful interruption in the world, but the fact this is once per chain, and if you're making this card, it's almost guaranteed at least 2 triggers, if not 3. It does become a problem when it's time after time after time. If it was just one time, it wouldn't even be that much of a threat. It's also a 3k body, which is insane, right? And so because of these guys, right, we have Stone King Darius. This is a DDD monster who's just, it takes any 2 level 3 fiends, right? If a level 3 fiend deck comes up down the line, I don't know, Burning Abyss gets support down the line and becomes good again. This could be an absolutely abusable thing for that deck for sure. We also have DDD Wave King Caesar. This guy takes any 2 level 4 fiends, or level 4 fiends. So whatever, we're seeing Labyrinth now. They have level 4 monsters that they use pretty regularly, right? They can abuse this card and then get into this guy, which also just plops on top of a rank 4 DDD monster. So if you use the 4 specifically, you just go Caesar, then you pop him, and then you, oh, sorry, spoilers. Then you go back into mockingx, and you just have 4 materials already, but keep in mind he's stealing materials. So if you fire him twice, he's going to have 3 triggers at the end of the day, which is 3 interruptions. I mean, it's really strong for just like making 1 Exceed monster. It is based on Fiends, but I do think Fiends already have a solid number of like base cards. If Konami comes out with like new Fiend decks, which they eventually will, or they'll give support to stuff like, you know, we're seeing Dark Worlds right now. Maybe Dark Worlds could put 2 4s on the field pretty easily. I don't know. Or, you know, whether it's Burning Abyss, whether it's Unchained plays with 3s, right? Even Lair of Darkness, right? And we're seeing Labyrinth. All these Fiend archetypes are like solid, and they have some monsters in that level range to abuse this card. And I think it'll come up at some point down the line outside of DDDs. I know DDDs were like meta relevant, but I'm saying this card, kind of like Ensemble Blue Robin, could easily be abused in a non like DDD deck that just like actually makes insane use of it, right? Stop their whole end board, or if they can just make a rank 3 or a rank 4, they end up with 3 interruptions just out of nowhere. It's crazy. All right, moving on to number 2, King of the Feral Imps. I had to put something like this on here. When I was going through the list of every Exceed monster, I ran into Gear Gigan X, searches any machine monster, level 4 or lower. Infinitrack, not Earth Slicer, River Stormer, searches any Earth Machine monster in the game. Still pretty good. But Earth Machine's been like rogue adjacent for a couple of years now. I think everybody's kind of aware what those cards do, and every time we get a new machine deck, you kind of have to keep an eye on those cards, because you're like, Earth Machine's already like okay. If they actually get like a legit, you know, win condition pushing engine, then they might be there. But we'll see if we finally get there. And the other one is what's the other one? Gallant Granite, which was insanely broken in Adamancipator, so I didn't want to throw that one in here either. But King of the Feral Imps is just exactly those, except arguably better. He's not a once per turn at all. I've messed around with him already in the Reptile Pile deck, which is just all the best Reptile engines combined into one. And this card's no joke. It's really, really good. I already think that the Ogdoadic engine is actually quite potent at pumping this guy out really easily, and a lot of times even before your normal summon, which is really, really good. I think Reptiles really are one of those decks, kind of like insects, that are waiting in the wings. They've got a couple good core engines that combine already. They're just missing like one more something. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's something, and this card's a huge reason for that. This card could easily end up getting like the Recital Starling treatment with Lyricalisk. I know we talked about Ensemble Blue Robin earlier. Recital Starling ended up getting put to 1 because that card wasn't once per turn, and you were making it 2 times per turn, if not more sometimes, and getting just multiple searches. Same thing with this guy. He doesn't even have a level restriction. He searches any reptile card in the game, which is why it even makes it even more insane if reptiles get just like one insane card. Think about like a Mathmech Circular, but it's just like kind of a generic reptile card. But then the fact that just like being able to make, and the fact that this doesn't even take reptiles to make is so broken. Generic rank 4. And then like that gives you access to like a crazy new reptile card if it ever comes out. right? And then that's a 1-card engine. Boom, into your play. That's crazy for consistency. It's crazy for extension. It's crazy for access to any part of your engine you really want. I love it. There you go, number 2. And number 1 on the list, for sure for me, is this card. I am extremely excited about this card. If you don't know what this card is, it's actually coming out in Darkwing Blast, I believe. His name is Volo, the Doom Originator Vassal Dragon. Let me move my fat head out of the way real quick. No, that's not how that works. Okay, cool. There we go. So here we go. He is a rank 6 monster, completely generic. Monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense for every card in your opponent's graveyard. That is card, not cards with different names, not monsters. That is every single card. Think about Tier. Tier literally puts like 20 cards in grave a lot of turns. Just literally 2,000 to every monster you control, which includes himself. So he like easily will get over 4,000 in a lot of duels with how fast Yu-Gi-Oh is in modern day. Secondly, quick effect. You can target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard, then detach 1 or 2 materials from this card to activate the appropriate effect. If you only detach 1 material, shuffle it into the deck. Worst case scenario, this is just a quick effect, shuffle anything in the grave back into the deck. I love that this is spell traps as well, so even against stuff like Eldritch, you can kind of shuffle back some of their engine spells and traps before they get them banished to get more resources. That's really cool. Second effect, if you detach 2 materials instead of 1, if it is a monster, special summon it to your field in either attack mode, defense mode, or face down defense position. Otherwise, set it to your field. And I know you're saying like, otherwise? What do you mean otherwise? You listed all 3 ways you could summon a monster. No. This card says target any card in your opponent's graveyard. Your opponent could literally have like a Harpy's Feather Duster, a Dark Ruler No More, a Called by the Grave, and you just set it to your field. That is so insane. Like, I don't know. Like the fact that you can just steal like in a mirror match. I mean, I think this card is like really, really good. I think like the good thing for this, as far as it being like obscenely broken in the format right now, is that we don't have any decks that really abuse 6s like crazy. I think this is a really nice card that'll probably see play in Virtual World as a rogue deck, but I don't think it's enough to necessarily push them to immediate tier 1 status or anything. But still, this card is crazy. It's either going to be like a multi-turn like shuffle. As the duel goes on, he makes your entire board insanely huge, including himself. And if you want, he's also stealing a monster. Also, to keep in mind that monster is not negated. It can still attack. So you literally, he could be 4,500, steal a 2,000 monster from your opponent's grave, and now that monster's 4,000. Boom, you just have OTK now. You just win the duel. Like, stuff like that is crazy. I don't know. This card reads so crazy. So very, very cool at the end of the day. Very excited for this card, actually, because I also play like Zephyrs, and they can kind of facilitate 6s somewhat easily. So yeah, I think this card's crazy. I think he will absolutely be a part of a meta deck at some point in the future. It might not be yet, but it'll come. I feel really confident about that. So yeah. There's our list for today. I had a lot of fun with Exceeds. I think Exceeds, I'm way more excited about this list than the Synchros, but I was more excited about Synchros than I was Fusions. We'll see how links go, but that's what we got for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like I said earlier on, I want to hear any other Exceed monsters that really haven't seen much play, and if you think they're going to be meta one day, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I know there were a bunch of other ones that I thought were cool that could have easily swapped in for 1 or 2 of the ones I have on here, but these are the ones that I thought that were the most interesting. So I'm out of here for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace.